It looks like our boy Hassan is feeling his oats. Or whatever griffins feel.
He's getting the hang of it. When he listens.
He seems to be able to handle himself so far.
You got lucky the Gloomhowler didn't tear you to pieces, boy. You wait for my command. We attack together. Then we can kill stuff like that.
At least he's learning.
The instincts kick in. Griffins see darkspawn and it's a fight to the death. Like wolves hunting deer. Just need to corral it.
Never be a deer. Good to know.
He'd probably leave them alone.
Probably.
You and I see a deer. Maybe he sees venison souffle. Every muscle in him, every talon, every feather, honed into a killing machine. Hassan's ancestors took on archdemons.
Like his name says, he's an arrow.
Half lion, half eagle, with the instincts of both, griffins will always be hunters.
Just like his daddy, Davrin.
I suppose we are our nature.
Not sure about that.
Most of my life I've hunted the darker things in the world. But caring for a griffin? What do I know about that? Yet here I am.
That's not so bad, is it?
Not the path I expected. Makes me wonder about Hassan, his brothers and sisters, still young, pure.
You're worried?
I'm responsible for the future of every griffin alive. I want it to be a good one. These animals live to fight, but I wonder if there's another path for them.
I'd like to think everyone can find a new path. Even griffins.
Just wish I knew what it was.
Doesn't every good parent?
Parents. A scary word. I'm supposed to be his bodyguard.
What do you think you've been doing this whole time?
Trying to ignore it. If I get myself killed by a Hurlock, that's on me. If it's Hassan, I just don't want to mess it up.
I think that's where trust comes in. That Turlum idea you keep talking about. Trust Hassan to find his way. Don't force things.
He's headstrong.
Good thing you are too.
Right. Thanks for the chat.
Well, it's all as you left it.
Close enough. I think the caretaker's been tidying up. Rook, now's not the best time to chat. Let's talk later.
Later then.
No, I know. It doesn't make any sense, but it works.
Wouldn't the connection to the lyrium cause...
The veil to rupture? Not if you're careful. Really, really careful.
Rook, good to see you. Belara was telling me about one of the artifacts she calmed. Her manipulation of the Hylic spheres put some circle mages I know to shame.
Oh, that's so nice. Really?
Belara, repairing the Illuvian network alone is worth a thesis.
Have you run into anything like it before?
Not at all. The principles are familiar, but the application, the finesse. Though admittedly, my interests lie more with the spirits. Look to Belara for elven magic expertise.
She came right in and started talking about interstitial resonance and stuff?
Yes, not everyone who's self-taught bothers with complex theory.
Well, thank you.
That said, I've noticed you working at all hours on that artifact.
Really? I don't think it's all ours.
And you're either the first to wake, or you simply aren't sleeping some nights.
Thank you, Professor, but I'm fine. Mostly.
That was really reassuring. Until mostly.
In between the two? It's hard. I've never had a chance like this. This kind of access to knowledge. It's Solas's old home. I want to learn as much as I can.
And we've time to learn it. But in order to do that, you must take care of yourself.
Not that Solas should be any kind of example, but even he slept. You can too.
Sometimes I can't. Fall asleep, I mean. My thoughts get in the way.
Perhaps I can help.
With sleeping?
Yes, I can teach you some breathing exercises, the ones we show initiates.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
Of course. We must look out for one another.
And thank you too, Rook.
Anytime.
Okay, I am going to relax right away. But first, I had another question.
I thought you might.
So the Wardens uncover a journal. It leads to a clutch of griffin eggs, and the damn things hatch.
Is there a question in there?
Usually there would be. Guess I'm still stunned.
Come on. You must have seen Stranger.
Sure, but I wish I'd seen that.
I wish I could breathe fire. I don't know, it just feels like the kind of thing that could be useful, you know?
Sometimes it helps to burn through stuff.
I wonder if we can make it go further or hotter. How long can you hold your breath?
Not long. Healers say it's because breathing fire hurts my lungs.
Oh, never mind then.
Lucanus, if you lose control of Spite, I'll have to put you both down. No hard feelings.
Good. But you should know, all the people who ever tried to kill me are dead.
Tosh will have my back. You can't handle both of us.
I once killed half a dozen Venatori while stuck inside an elevator. I'll take my chances.
You cannot do this, Algernon. You swore that we would give up our commands when this horrific war was over.
Our people need our leadership. If you're unwilling, leave.
Our people must rebuild, and we must help unite them.
So, we did not fight for freedom, but to conquer this land and our own.
We fought to win, and now the Evanuris are as gods. I do not answer to Mythal's annoying lapdog.
The people are afraid. They must believe in something.
They need strength.
And wisdom.
They need gods who can protect them.
We are not gods. You will learn that.
Every lapdog hides a wolf inside.
That was strange. They were speaking Elven, but I understood it.
I believe we have experienced a memory in each of our native languages.
Not just any memory. One of the Dreadwolves.
And the mages who declared themselves my gods. Well, mine and Daffrin's.
That can't be easy, Blara.
It was so mundane. Nothing grand or cosmic. No setting fire to the sun, just talking, politics. I wish they were monsters. Something grand and terrible. Seeing them like that, they're no better than Tevinter nobles.
But no worse, either. They were people. And people can let you down.
All right. What else can we take from this memory?
Elgranon was hungry for power. Did anything he could to get it, and to hold on to it.
Then Solus, furious at Elganon's installing himself as a despot, started his rebellion.
There's another moving part in this. Mythal. She was keeping the peace.
Mythal and Solus were close. The Inquisition found a temple to Mythal, and there were wolf statues everywhere.
Then she sides with Elgranon over him. A betrayal.
It sounded like Solus was loyal to Mythal. What did Elganon call him? Mythal's lapdog? And then she grabs power alongside Elganon instead of standing for her principles. I'd be angry too.
Angry enough to start a rebellion?
That's not how he'd see it. He didn't destroy the world. Elganon did. Solus did what he considered necessary to stop him.
Solus would try to justify what he did, but he'd also blame himself for what happened.
Perhaps these murals aren't simply memories. They're what Solus wishes to forget.
His regrets. That means they're a way to learn his weak points.
Why are we worried about Solus? He's trapped.
Right. But the Dreadwolf was the god of trickery. He's looking for a way out. Bet on it.
Meanwhile, keep your eyes open in the crossroads. If there's a way to restore the rest of these murals, Solus would have kept it in his hideaway. It'd be nice to get inside his head for a change.
How are the crows after the dragon attack?
We're assassins. What do we know about dragons? Thea and Viago are juggling the response to the dragon with the fight against the Antam. The other talents are scrambling. And I don't know what Ilario is doing.
That last part seems normal.
I suppose the world hasn't ended yet.
Spot any good books, Emmerich?
Hundreds! Works on mimetic transfusion, votively enkindled runes, lost forms of spirit communion. Meanwhile, Harding discovered a lurid novel about a blood-soaked castle somehow.
You know if she's done with it. I heard you almost had a demon outbreak in Minrathous.
Almost.
Way I hear it, the city sleeps better for you in it.
Maybe. But the Venatori don't sleep.
Maybe I should give it a go hunting them instead.
No shortage of work there. The spirits around the Hall of Valor seem very invested in all of it.
Spirits like fun too.
Sure, but one of them was trying to take wages. So I said, I bet the demons in Marathas could teach you a thing or two about betting rings. The spirit said, I bet you're right, and handed me 5 gold. I feel a point was missed.
Hey, you got 5 gold. Take the win.
So, does Manfred have, people thoughts and feelings?
His self-expression may be limited, but Manfred is as cognizant of his surroundings as you or I. To a certain degree.
Professor Volkarin, welcome back.
Dorian, wonderful to see you again.
You've got quite the operation going here in Docktown. It's astounding.
Dorian.
No, I'm actually being genuine this time.
Oh. Thank you.
Why did Morgan want to meet him in Rathis? Isn't she helping the Veil Jumpers in Arlathan?
Indeed, but today we have a guest, and he needed the anonymity that only a city provides.
Well, look who it is.
Good to see you, Lace.
Rook, you remember how Varric and I served the Inquisition? Well, this is Inquisitor Trevelyan, the man who led us all.
How many famous people do you know, Harding? Should I expect the Divine to show up?
She also served in the Inquisition, but we didn't talk much.
Morrigan and Harding have told me about what you've accomplished since taking over for Varric. You've put together an impressive team, and you've got the best chance, maybe the only chance, to stop Elganon and Gillenane.
We've been doing what we can, but I'll be honest. Right now it feels like we're in over our heads.
You've already faced setbacks, you'll face more. Your actions will have consequences.
Have you seen the blight all over Treviso? We know all about consequences.
Such thinking is a trap you can ill afford. Treviso was blighted because of Elganon and Gillenane, but Minrathous was saved because of you.
I wasn't ready to become the Inquisitor. I wasn't ready to have to choose between helping Templars or mages or decide the fate of every Grey Warden in southern Thedas. Eventually, when the choices I made caught up with me, I disbanded the Inquisition rather than let it turn into another problem. Maybe someday you'll face the same situation. But I'm asking you not to worry about that future until we have one. Right now, we need you to stop the gods.
All right. I'll do my best.
And while you do so, Rook, the Inquisitor will do his best to ensure that the rest of the world remains intact. A daunting prospect, given that most of the South is under siege by Darkspawn.
It's that bad?
If not for the Inquisitor, the South would have collapsed completely. He has not been idle while you assembled your team.
I thought the gods were mostly active up here. It's really that bad in the South?
Elganon and Gillenane have indeed restricted their activities to the north. But the forces they deployed to the south, the strange new Darkspawn, have spread fear and corruption greater than any blight in history.
Darkspawn have cut through the center of Orlais. Val Royeaux and Halam Shiral are barely holding out. Ferelden would have fallen already if not for help from Orzammar. With Denerim lost, the Fereldans are holding the line at Redcliffe. The Free Marches have the worst of it. Acting Viscount Aveline Valen led the evacuation of Kirkwall. She's taking her people and what's left of her army to help Prince Vale keep Starkhaven.
Maker, we didn't know. My ma...
Don't worry. I called in a favor with the Divine. Your mother's safe with some old friends.
Thank you.
The Inquisition might be gone, but my name still carries some weight. I've used it to get people working together where they can. Again, the South is my problem, not yours, Rook. You stop the gods, and I'll make sure the rest of Thedas doesn't fall to the Blight.
If the South is in such turmoil, why come up here just to talk? And how did you get here so fast?
Did you think you were the only one to unlock the secrets of the Illuvians?
Morgan helped the Inquisition use the Illuvians to travel.
While I lack the Dreadwolf's Viravus, I may still scurry between the walls of this world to be where I might do the most good. The Inquisitor asked to meet you, and I thought it might help you to meet him.
I've been having trouble getting people in authority to listen to us. If you help with some of your political strength...
My political strength? Tevinter hates me. The Venatori help make sure of that. And while I have a few friends in the Wardens, their leadership hasn't much cared for me since we clashed at Adamant Fortress.
The Inquisitor did not come all this way to leave you with empty words, however. He brought something no one else could.
A wolf statuette. We've found others like it in the crossroads. Where'd you find yours?
I found it right around the time Solus's ritual failed, when he was pulled into the Fade. We've examined the magic, and it's tied to the Veil. To him, somehow.
Solus is ancient, and his magic is part of him in a way far beyond that of mortals. I suggest you take it to the crossroads and see if something in the lighthouse calls to it. Perhaps it will yield some insight into your new ally.
Solus is trapped in the Fade. He's not my biggest concern at the moment.
Solus is trapped in your dreams, and while he cannot match Elganon or Gillenane in strength, he is far more cunning. He is the Dreadwolf. He led a rebellion that lasted centuries. How many times do you think the gods thought him trapped and helpless?
I considered Solus a friend. I'd hoped to convince him to see reason. It's too late for that now, but still... If this can give you some insight, help you understand him, whatever it turns out to be, I hope that it helps.
We should go, Inquisitor. The armies in the south need you.
Right. Harding, stay sharp. You're my eyes in the north.
Always, Inquisitor.
Rook, good luck. If I come across anything else that can help, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
By the way, Rook, before I left, Myrna and Vorgoth asked if we could assist with an outbreak of hauntings across Thedas. They also mentioned displaced wisps in the necropolis. I'm not sure what's frightened them, but it bears investigation.
Hauntings and scared wisps? Let's look into it.
Thank you. We'll depart for the necropolis whenever you're ready.
Let's ask Myrna and Vorgoth about these hauntings.
I'd also appreciate it if we could see to those displaced wisps. Now, despite what you may have heard, spirits who dwell here do so willingly. Most of our working dead are animated by unthinking wisps, which are little more than impulses from the Fade. But later, I could introduce you to some truly intelligent undead.
What? Like having a chat over a pint?
Some are quite conversational.
Thank you for coming, Rook. We're in need of your assistance.
Your letter spoke of hauntings?
Malign spirits freed by the gods.
They have concretized into a variety of forms. Left unchecked, these spirits will cause great harm.
They must be put to rest.
This haunting was once a spirit of curiosity.
It has turned to a darker purpose.
Rook, Professor, a new group of Venatori trespass in the shrouded halls.
The gall of them!
They come in search of plunder.
We'll put a stop to that.
Sealed tight.
Stand back. Are you Venatori? Are the sniffing rats? What form have you all? This vault's riches are mine. I tore them from the dead, and with me, they will remain.
So was that a demon?
I'm afraid so. And a powerful one, to have been kept behind such ancient locks instead of simply banished.
Let's search around. Maybe the Venatori know something.
Emmerich, have I got this right? Manfred's a wisp?
A wisp of curiosity, to be precise.
And this wisp was so curious about our world, it just couldn't wait to come here, animate a body, and serve you tea?
Manfred enjoys boiling the water. He's mesmerized by the steam.
Venatori sure made themselves cozy here.
The cultists will be staying longer than they imagined.
Myrna and Vorgoth will be happy. I think that's the last of the trespassing Venatori.
It's a travesty so many of them gathered here undetected. We really must raise some new corpse guards.
That skeleton that used to be a spirit of curiosity is gone.
Our gratitude. The magic animating this haunting is ancient.
The gods stole its slumber.
This note says the door's seals are tied to demons out in the world. Killing them unseals the door, but they'll keep returning until we destroy whatever's behind the door itself.
Time for a hunt.
The Order would be grateful. I've never even heard of this spirit.
Let's keep an eye out. Wait. The lyrium dagger's vibrating. Like a song in a wine glass. Those voices?
Striking the crossroads without forethought would be folly. The rebellion controlled it for far too long. Its defenses will be artfully hidden.
You will not press? Our forces are cunning and sharpened.
Fen'Harel's spite is endless and his trickery not easily overcome. He will have traps in wait. A crossroads in ruin is no good to us.
That was Elganon and Gillenane. Were we eavesdropping on the past?
It makes sense for Solus. His dagger, his enemies, his way of spying on them.
Let's hope it doesn't work both ways.
Can you help? There are veil jumpers in the forest who have been gone too long. They were searching for relics. With the recent troubles, they could use a protective escort to bring those relics back to camp.
I'll start the search.
And I'll stay here, in case someone shows up.
That relic just went off. What happened to that veil jumper? He was right here. Oh, this isn't good. We need to find him. That's incredible. One of those magical relics the veil jumpers were dealing with must be nearby.
You saved me. I'm saved. I'm alive. I was working on the relic and then everything went dark and quiet. It felt like nothing and nowhere. I'll catch my breath and make my own way back to camp.
There are others missing. We'll continue searching for them.
I kept calling and no one came. It felt like an eternity, and the shadows were so dark. So dark. But I'll be all right. I'll make my own way back to the camp.
This monster, the Gloom Howler, have you ever seen its like?
Never. No warden I've talked to has either. It's definitely blighted, but not darkspawn. Smart. Something special. Normally I'd relish a hunt like this. Now...
You'll find Asan's siblings. I'm certain.
So am I.
Oh, thank the creators. Did Elio send you? I have to talk to him once I return to camp. It's so odd. I've seen relics like that before. I know how they work, but this one, it was wrong.
I found most of your friends, but one didn't make it. I'm sorry.
We all know the risks, but it's still difficult when someone gets hurt. There's one last relic out there we never found. If you come across it, be careful. I think someone's meddling with the magic in Arlethan.
I'll try to be safe.
How are you faring with Hassan, Davrin?
It's all good. He's behaving, minding his manners, quiet as a mouse.
So, all the squawking from your room.
Must have been Tosh throwing a temper tantrum.
I distinctly heard a griffin shriek.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes he acts out.
You must instill some discipline. Manfred needed to be taught boundaries as well.
Uh-huh. Except Hassan's a griffin.
And clever. That will only increase, believe me.
That demon knew us. It sounded exactly like the one trapped behind that sealed door in the necropolis.
Sure did.
A multi-localized sending. The malign spirit trapped in the vault can project facets of its reality into the outer world.
Untold years asleep, only to see our sanctums defiled. Even Arlethan is trampled by cast-offs and mortals. We must secure the Alluvians.
We shall. The Ontom are uneasy in the crossroads, but they know their duty.
If they fail, give the best preserve to me for improvement.
Dead on, Tom. We're already on it.
Emmerich, I think you've got to let Manfred learn some things on his own.
Such as?
You know, like any kid. Let them fall, scrape their knee.
That could dislodge his patella bone, hinder his ambulation.
Or he might learn to walk and not fall next time.
That's a harsh thing to wish on a spirit who yearns only to experience the world.
Falling down's a big part of the world.
Manfred's body is an intricate construction. There's no need to bruise it, or him, unnecessarily.
Rook, you must find Chance.
What happened?
He was here earlier, deathly ill, saying he had to see the market master.
The market is filled with the sick and injured. If Chance is blighted, or about to become a darkspawn, find him, Rook. We'll stay here in case he returns.
You ever clean your own dishes at the necropolis, Emmerich? Or is that a job for skeleton butlers?
I was an apprentice once.
How about now?
Well, I am perfectly capable of scrubbing a pot.
That's good. You're on cleanup tonight.
Excuse me, did a crow named Chance come by recently?
He saved us, is what he did. The Antam were planning a raid to steal our supplies for the injured. We heard them right outside the gates. Chance dealt with the brutes before they even set foot into the market. And he left you a note.
Chance is blighted. He asked us to make sure he doesn't hurt anyone. He's waiting for us in the Drowned District.
Thank you, friends.
Many live, thanks to him. May he find peace.
Let's let Teir and Viago know what happened here. We found Chance. He saved the market from Antam before Blight took him over.
Thank you for giving him a kinder end.
His name will be on the memorial we are building for all the lost.
Please, visit later if you wish to see it.
Rook, welcome to the Hosberg wetlands. I'd say make yourself comfortable.
This place is...
foreboding?
Yes. Well, foreboding is normal here, but it's worse than usual.
The Blight's always a problem in the Anderfels. It's not strange to find a corrupted patch of forest or swamp.
What is strange is the sudden surge of blight through the Hosberg wetlands. Much like the village you found, the blight here struck too quickly, and in strange forms.
It's choked the whole area.
And the local village, Lavendel, was caught in it. But they're survivors. We can be grateful for that.
If there was a place that needed wardens,
Then here we are.
As far as we can tell, the gods you're chasing weren't here directly.
If the Blight's really changed, then the changes are widespread. As for how much?
I can almost sense something in there. Another sound under the Blight's usual song.
Stories say Warden sensed blight. I never thought it was literal.
It happens when you join the Order. But that's more than I should say.
When we met, you tried to block the sound out. Now you hear too much.
If it helps, that's what we're here for.
Okay, this all sounds awful. And we're standing in the middle of it, which is normal for me.
For us too.
So what's the plan?
We heard rumors of the surge here and volunteered to investigate. The first Warden expects a report. Soon.
If we want proof the Blight's changed, then this place is where to find it.
But the way the Blight left the village, we've had our hands full just keeping it back and helping the sick.
You need more to study.
Yes. The odd growths the Blight has formed, like boils, they surround Lavendel. I need more samples.
So you two study the blight?
Formally? No. Well, maybe. It depends on your definition.
We travel a lot, and tend to get sidetracked by weird problems.
Who knew I'd roam so far for Morlaix? If we want to help, we need to learn what we're dealing with.
Samples. That's gonna be gross. That's probably the best word for it.
I'll give you something to contain the Blight. And watch for Darkspawn out there.
Right. Darkspawn. Can't forget them.
Good luck.
You've been to the farmlands. There's a family. Voss. I'm close with them, with Ursa. They spoke of the Blight. The Blight. Before all of this happened. They knew. But if they knew, why aren't they here?
If I find anything, I'll let you know. Lavendel Village. Whatever happened here looks like Demeter's crossing.
It's still standing, and I'll fight to keep it that way.
Are you here to help Lavendel? I'm Bastion. There's more out there than Blight. You must be careful.
Of what?
I heard something from up at Gaspin Manor while I was escaping here. The place has been abandoned for years. They say the Lord had some cursed treasure. One day he just disappeared. Could the Blight awaken a curse? If it draws evil here, the treasure's up there somewhere. It should have been destroyed.
They knew the Blight was coming. But how? And what went wrong after? This Echo made promises and then... Do you think it took them all? A well? Well. An echo? 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 That's not my voice. Not your voice. Who are you? Are you? Whatever this echo was in the well, I think it possessed them. The more people go near it, the more it gets in their minds.
It offered a way out, then kept them in place. Was it all a game?
That journal mentioned clearing boards from the well. It was sealed away once. Whatever's down there, whatever you did to those people, I won't let you do it again. We're sealing the well. Sealing. It's done. No more echo. For now. So this is the cursed manor.
It plays the part well.
Lord Gaspin's treasure belongs to the Venatori.
This writing is old. If it was Lord Gaspin, whatever he thought was back here, it wasn't enough. He found a demon, or became the one we met. If the demon was the curse, at least we've kept it away from Lavendel. Once we're done, we can let Bastion know.
Rook! Always good to see people return. Means they're still alive.
We went up to Gaspin Manor.
You did? And the curse? Was it... Did the Blight wake it?
Less the Blight, more like some Venatori. There was a demon haunting the manor. We stopped it.
Huh. Well, we all knew something wasn't right. And thank you. That's one less evil to worry about.
The Voss family? Did you find anything?
There was something in the well. It got to them.
But we aren't supposed to listen. The stories. But it was sealed.
It's sealed again.
When it's safe to go back, I'll bury it even deeper for Ursa. Thank you for letting me know.
Antoine? Antoine!
Yes? Yes, the blight samples. They're like nothing we've seen, or anything in the Warden records. And I almost hear voices in it. The gods calling the blight.
I can't hear anything. But if you believe me...
We knew things were bad. But if the Blight's being called, the situation's more unpredictable than we thought. We need to...
I give you two reign, and this is where it leads. Chasing Rook's lies.
First Warden...
Stay away from the Blight and the Wardens. How many times must you be told?
Do you think titles and bluster scare me?
And your venom is better directed toward your magisters.
Rook knew something was wrong.
I can hear it in the samples. The gods. He's telling the truth. The blight has changed, and that changes everything.
It changes nothing. Your sensitivity to blight is useful, Warden Antoine. But you've had more than one snake in your ear.
I listen to the experts. You've clearly got this handled.
That's enough from you. You tampered with a ritual that unleashed blight. You did not know what you were doing then, and you don't now.
If gods control the Blight, we need to change how we approach it.
Archdemons control blight, and we'd sense if one had risen. We'd make the sacrifices needed to fight it.
But we...
The blight has increased. Now is not the time to lose focus. Wardens Evka and Antoine, are you sworn to combat the blight?
Yes, but...
Then report back to Weishaupt and do so.
That went poorly, even for a talk with him.
Are talks with him ever pleasant?
We talked about the rain once. It was neutral.
So much for convincing the Wardens.
We can't give you the order, but you have us.
We'll keep tracking the Darkspawn and the Blight. We'll do what we can.
And if we learn the gods' plans, you will too.
The elven god of monsters had been hard at work. She'd taken the Darkspawn and made them so much worse. Now, she and Elgarnon had their glorious new army. The risen gods were ready. And they had just the target.
Rook, just got word. First Warden's calling everyone back to Weishaupt. Everyone except me, seems like. Guess the First Warden didn't like me joining your team.
Calling Wardens back from all over Thedas is a big step. Did he give any reason why?
Not exactly, but I've heard rumors of a massive Darkspawn horde on the move. Even hearing there's an Archdemon with them.
The timing can't be a coincidence. The gods must be behind this.
I bet they are. Rook, if the gods have an Archdemon, Warden lore says Archdemons only show up during a blight. Doesn't say anything about elven gods. Seems like the rules have changed, and we're going in blind. We need to know what we're up against.
I'll talk to Solus, see if he knows anything about any of this. Make sure the others are ready to move.
Rook, interested in visiting the Memorial Gardens?
What are you up to?
I must tend to some rites in the necropolis. I'd like to show you its more peaceful side.
I cannot say.
Who created you?
I cannot say.
What can you say?
I cannot say.
Right. Deserve that.
Got the archive spirit working, I see.
Rook, you're here. And I did, sort of. A little bit. It appears, but it won't tell me anything.
You simply ask the wrong questions. A common affliction of the weak-minded.
Also that, it's kind of mean.
Just insult it right back. Assuming you know how to insult a spirit.
I've never thought about it. How would you do that? Emmerich might know. That is an idea. Syrian learned a lot, taught me a lot about these archives. They have, well, not thoughts like us, but sort of pathways, I guess. They can only respond to specific questions worded in specific ways. So, if you're powerful, like almost God-level powerful, how would you talk to someone you see as lesser?
Really condescendingly, based on experience so far.
Right! You wouldn't ask questions, you'd tell them what to do, so let's try that. Archive, tell me who built you.
One of the greatest of Elvenan, a steward of her glory. Truly, I was blessed to bathe in his warmth. Anaris built me, and to him I shall someday return.
You mean the Forgotten One?
I cannot say.
Good point. It came later.
What do you mean by it came later?
Oh, I meant later after Elvenon fell. We didn't call them the Forgotten Ones till after that. They were the bad gods. Disease, pestilence, weren't supposed to speak their names. Not like the good gods, you know, Elgernon, Gillenane. But now we know the truth about the Evanuris. So we don't know for sure what the Forgotten Ones were, I mean. They used to say Solus was one, so best case scenario like him. Worst case, well, you heard it talk.
Right. So this thing's dangerous if it belonged to one of them.
Could be, but still important and invaluable. Everything Anaris knew, this thing knows, and my people deserve to know. If I can get it to tell me.
Archive, tell me about the Evanuris.
A group of cowards hiding behind their more powerful magic and superior numbers. Their jealousy of Anaris was palpable. Their war is unending, but Anaris will prevail.
Archive, tell me about the Dreadwolf.
An ideologue and a fool who will soon pay the price. When Anaris dispatches the Evanuris, he will spare a thought for Fenharel.
Have fun with the condescending spirit.
I'll try. Could be worse, I guess.
Worse, like the wound of betrayal Lord Anaris suffered. Soon he will cast down the oppressors and take his rightful place.
What a shame I can't stay longer. Good luck.
Appreciate the support.
Nev, those civil engineers you sent from Minrathis are a great help.
Who said that was me?
They went directly to Treviso's southern lock gates, which I remember mentioning to you the other day.
Look, I was owed a favor, and I've got nothing for an engineer to do. Now everything's square.
Whatever the reason, thank you.
Why do you run around in fancy mage clothes?
Because I like them?
You're barely even wearing a shirt.
You fight Anton with a bare midriff.
Everything all right?
We're fine. Just trading fashion tips. So what I wear is a problem for you?
It's not. It's just... Why dress like that? Are you trying to make your mother happy?
Tosh, what's going on? Something is clearly bothering you.
My bet's on mothers and dresses.
It's just something my mother said the other day. And I act more like a man than a woman.
And you feel like you should wear dresses to make her happy?
No. Can you imagine me in a dress? I'd look stupider than I'd look stupid.
This isn't about the dress, is it?
No, it's... I don't know. She always says stuff like that. About how I dress, how I act.
And?
It feels... right. When she says I act more like a man. It feels... right. Why does it feel right?
Tosh, do you like being a woman?
Nobody likes being a woman.
Ah.
This is stupid. Forget I said anything.
If something about being a woman is hurting you, I don't think it's stupid at all.
But what does it mean?
It could be about your mother's expectations, or about how it feels to be a woman and Canary. Or maybe it's being a woman, period.
How would knowing that help? It won't change anything.
Some of my friends in Minrathous talk about not feeling comfortable in their own skin. As a man, as a woman. I could see if they'd like to talk. Maybe what they say fits how you're feeling.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks. You do look really pretty.
Oh?
To look at. I'd smudge your makeup.
Thanks for letting me down gently.
Thank you again for coming. My duties include tending to these rites of remembrance. Excellent. Manfred found his way down. Very good, Manfred.
He sounds excited.
I thought we'd start the rites here. A tableau of the dead, commissioned 173 years ago. These lives were flickers against the ages, precious, fragile, and finite. Now they serve as a warning. Don't linger overlong in the gloom. Live with grace and fervor while you may.
Not sold on the healing power of skeletons.
It's all in how you approach it. That one's livelier. Here. Who were you when you breathed above?
This body was a tailor's, a mother's. She laughed and taught and wove the robes kings wore when they were crowned.
Someone must realign her thoracic vertebrae. I hope the novices are inspecting the displays.
Seems disrespectful to abandon something you built.
Precisely. No wonder there's been an uptick in hauntings.
Wait, what?
Let's continue.
So, what now?
We light candles in remembrance of the dead. Would you care to light the candle, Rook? Look at this. The last tomb of the Tannhausens. A very influential family in the Storm Age.
We broke the bones of dragons.
A posthumous motto. Their last heir met his match against a Highland Ravager.
Death by dragon. Surprised there was enough to bury.
Do you know, I never expected that the door we found back in the Vault of the Beloved would lead here.
So, the necropolis actually shuffles its rooms around?
From time to time. Very unlikely to happen while we're inside a chamber. Could you light the next candle? Aha! One of my favorite flowers! A variegated weeping widower.
You know your plants?
Alchemy is my hobby. It's a break from teaching spirit calling and theoretical applied metaphysics.
Bet you'd love some of the books the Shadow Dragons liberated from a few magisters.
This way, Rook.
You're right about the gardens being peaceful.
The necropolis has its dangers, but these places are a refuge for the dead.
How many people are buried here anyway?
Excellent question. We rarely should take a new census. You'll need to light these candles as well. Open your hearts to the final day, companion of all the ages. I was pleasantly surprised by your respect for our undead tableau earlier, Rook. I'm beginning to think people outside Navarra find the necropolis a little unnerving.
Shadow dragons are used to weird architecture. More skulls here, though.
The spirits gather. Only a few more candles. Follow me. Ah, look here.
Hi. Should I say hi?
It's curious about you. We're also enjoying the gardens, but with one last ritual ahead. On your way, my friend.
Spirits really are your specialty.
I've always had a rapport with them. Even as a child, they were my companions.
After you started training here?
After I was orphaned.
Oh.
A collapsed building, swift deaths. After the funeral, the Watchers took me in.
They thought the necropolis was the best place for an orphan.
Better to learn death dwells all about us than be deaf when it calls. Yet, I was terrified of everything when I arrived.
And you still joined the Watchers?
They're what saved me. Please, light the next candles if you would. There's much to recommend about the rhythm of a ceremony. It eases our worst hours. As a boy, the Watcher's rituals were exactly what I needed to steady my days with purpose.
And some death magic?
Well, every young mage needs a speciality. All this pageantry, this magnificent gloom and its rites, I ask you, Rook, what is it for?
It's gotta be the living, right?
Yes, exactly. This place is an abundance of history, of magic, of memories. The Watchers preserve it so the living may draw comfort from those who've gone before. We must get to the candle, please, Manfred.
You told Harding that Manfred used to be a wisp until you gave him a body.
Yes, he's taken so well to it. Haven't you, Manfred? Here are the last candles you'll need to light. Once you're ready, we'll need to ring the bell. Let the rites be acknowledged. Our bonds seen and sealed. We honor the listening spirits.
Hail from the abyss.
We witness, good Watcher, faith kept in all our paths.
What was...
The necropolis hosts many spirits. We thank these guardians for their protection and friendship. We'll need to ring the bell once more to close out the departing ceremony.
So you were really afraid of this place as a child?
It wasn't the necropolis itself, but what was draped around it. Have you ever been frightened by the thought of dying, Rook?
Hasn't everyone from time to time?
When I was younger, it happened more often than that. That's when I discovered I possess a great terror of dying. It goes beyond dread. can't be reasoned with or soothed over. It comes without warning. In the dead of night, in sunlit streets. A raw, strangling fear struck somewhere deep past the heart.
That's an issue for a necromancer.
Oddly, I discovered I wasn't alone. I debated this fear with friends. I argued with teachers. Yet, it lingered. Manfred's right. That's maudlin enough. There are struggles, but a watcher should always find peace amongst the graves. And what sort of host would I be if we didn't end with some light refreshment?
Well, if Manfred's excited, how can I refuse? Cheers, Manfred. It's quiet. That spirit we've been chasing must be waiting inside.
You ignored each warning, scoffed every taunt. With every death, I tasted freedom. For without the door seals, I can take on a worthy form at last. Witness the greatest treasure of the dead.
It's possessed a high dragon's corpse.
Spite. Did not like fighting that. Let's not stay long.
1,000-year banishment to the Fade. The Watchers will make note of the date.